Switch South Africa in proud association with Change Cars. Change Cars is a trusted online website because they work with trusted dealers and the best insurer in South Africa, Discovery Insurance. Welcome back to Switch South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash as always, and today you guys join me in a Bakkie I've wanted to test for as long as I can remember. So today you guys join me in the GWM P-Series Limited. So this is the top of the range in the P-Series lineup. It's a new model that was introduced this year, and I'm going to tell you every single thing you need to know about the car. So I'm going to tell you my full thoughts of the car, from the exterior look of the car, interior look of the car, and importantly the drive and cost of ownership. I know you guys want to know that. So let's go ahead and speak about the exterior look of the vehicle. So exterior look of this vehicle, this one being the Limited, you can obviously tell that no, this one is a bit different from the ones I've seen on the road. So this one, it's a Limited, so they give you hosts of features. Obviously, you're going to speak about the interior features and the safety features, but on the exterior side of things, you get a different front bumper. You get a metal or steel front bumper, so that's good for this vehicle. Do I like the look of it? I prefer the one you find just under it, so I don't prefer the front look of this vehicle because it looks a bit too off-roady for my liking, and I'm more of a lifestyle type of Bakkie type of person, so I prefer the normal bumper over the steel bumper. But there's people that will be taking those car off-roading and all of that stuff, and in that regard you need this bumper because approach angle would be much better, and that's the one to go for. Looking at the rear end of the vehicle, you also get a different type of design at the back. I do like this car. The back looks good. I don't mind it. I like the look of the car. Side profile of the vehicle, it's okay. This specific one, because it's in black and it's a dealership vehicle, it's written P-Series on the side. So for those who are wondering, when you buy a P-Series Limited, you do not get the P-Series lettering on the side. The car will come clean. This one, obviously, because it's from head office and all that, they want people to know that it's a P-Series, hence advertising. But when you buy it, you will not get the P-Series writing. Well, I'm sure you can ask for it maybe, but I don't think you'd want that on your car. And then on the side and front, you get a scoop. So this is for when you off-roading and maybe you see water, then you get in the water to give so your engine can still breathe. That's why you have that there. But as regards to the exterior, there's not really much difference. As well, you get a steel side step, which I actually do like. The steel side step is good enough. But as regards to the exterior, the most of this vehicle is on the exterior look of the vehicle because of how aggressive it looks. And then you get into the interior of the vehicle, it's two different things. So when you look at this vehicle from the outside, you think that when you get it inside, you're not going to get like a plush interior, good finish, because it's a Bakkie at the end of the day. And looking at how aggressive it is on the outside, you wouldn't think you'd get that in the interior of the vehicle. So jumping into the interior of the vehicle, this has to be one of the most, in terms of fit and finish, it's up there with many brands. It's up there. I know fit and finish wise is better than the Toyota Hilux. Not too sure about the Ranger, but on the side, it's definitely better. It's definitely the best. Like here by the side where your window switches are, there's this. So the way your seats are, it also goes onto your doors. So I do like that about the car. It gives off the premium feel of the vehicle, and coming in at under 700,000 Rand, that is good value for money, but we'll speak more about the price later on. So interior, you get a digital instrument cluster. This instrument cluster is the exact same ones you find in the Haval Julian, the Haval H6, and yeah, those two Haval. So you get that type of digital instrument cluster. Infotainment system, it's not the biggest, but it's big enough. Obviously, because nowadays you see iPad design like from Ford and all of those brands, so this one is big enough for the car. You do look into the lower end of the vehicle here by the climate control system. I do like the fact that it's still climate controls buttons, but you can also play with it within the touchscreen. So like I said, like I always say, there's different types of people. Some people like it in the infotainment system, some don't. I don't like it, but this one at least you get the buttons down low. But speaking of the buttons down low, the way it's finished or the way it's designed, it gives off age. It doesn't look something of today, if that makes sense. It doesn't look like a 2022 2023 model. It looks of good 5 years ago. It reminds me of the Mahindra XUV 300 that I had on test earlier this year. It's the exact same type of design there, which I do not necessarily like. I wish if they did that, so around that is piano black. If they did that with the piano black finish, would have been much better for my liking. So with regards to that, one thing I don't like in terms of the interior, your gear selector is big enough. It feels like you're in a plane because of how you have to hold it to move into gears. That's a good feature. That's what I like about the car. And then moving on to the seats. The seats are very comfortable seats. You feel good being in the seats. So it's electronically operated for the driver and passenger seats. You do get heated seats for the driver. just the driver. You don't get heated seats for the passenger. I'm just joking. Obviously, it's Chinese people. They'll give you everything you want. You get heated seats for the passenger as well. So that's with regards to the look of the vehicle. And as I'm driving, I'm coming up along the P-Series as well, the one that I prefer. I'm literally looking at it now. So that's what I like about the car. So with regards to interior space, it's okay. At the back, obviously being a Bakkie, you won't get the best interior space, but it's okay. Decent leg room. It's decent enough. So as I'm driving up, you'll see a P-Series on my right. You should see it there. You didn't see it, but it's over there. So I like that about the car. So now moving on to the important thing, the drive of the vehicle, and that's where I need to be critical with this car, and it's where its downfall is. So drive of the vehicle is powered by a 2-liter turbo diesel engine, producing 120 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque. So that is very low compared to the competition, or compared to what other Bakkies are offering. Nowadays, at minimum, Bakkies are offering nothing under 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters of torque. So this is quite down on the power, and you do feel the power, especially when you're on highway speeds. You feel the power. So for example, if I'm doing 100 kilometers per hour and I want to overtake, the 100 to 120, 130, it'll feel like a lifetime in this vehicle, and it'll feel like you're stringing the car, like you're really expecting the car to do miracles. And it's something that I don't like about the car. That's the first thing I don't like with regards to the drive of the vehicle. But for what the car is, driving it like this in city, it's okay. It is quite loud, but you just obviously dumb that out with the music and everything else. But it's something I don't like with regards to the drive. Also the turbo lag per se in this vehicle. Put your foot down, it takes time to think, and then we go. So it'll make so much noise, and then you'd think that, okay, I'm moving, and then you look at your speed, you're like, oh, I'm moving on 60 or I'm moving on 80. So that's the disadvantage with the vehicle. But for what it is, for the price, you can't complain too much about it. And then with regards to the gearbox, that's where it complement the car. So the car comes with an automatic gearbox, 8-speed automatic gearbox. It's quick, it's decent. It shifts now, and then also when you're manual, and I speak about this a lot, when you're manual and I'm in gear 5, for example, and I put my foot flat, it will stay in gear 5. It will not it will not change from your thing for me. So what I like about the car, why I like it, especially in Bakkies, is because sometimes you'll be off-roading and you want to stick it in a certain gear. You want to keep it in gear 3. You don't want the car to change for you, whether down or up. That's where that comes in handy. So it's one thing I like about the car. And then coming along to the drive of the vehicle, city driving, the drive of the vehicle is fine. You will not feel a bit of complaint. Obviously it is a bit bouncy, like for example like that now, it is a bit bouncy here and there, but Bakkies in general are bouncy, like they tend to bounce around a lot. So with this vehicle, city driving is okay, you will like it, but one thing you will feel is its weight and its size. Its weight and its size, it doesn't hide it. Many Bakkies nowadays, they're moving on to the luxurious side of things. So in terms of the drive, you hardly feel like you're in a Bakkie. And I'm gonna keep using the Ranger as an example. The Ranger, you don't feel like you're in a Bakkie. They've made it to a point where you feel as if you're in a normal SUV. So with those ones, you can still feel that you're very much still within a Bakkie, but that's good. Certain people don't like that, certain people like that. Certain people want to be reminded that they're in the Bakkie, which is fine. So with this vehicle, that's what you get. When you go off-roading those cars, I think that's something that you guys would like to know. As you can see in the overplay videos now, you can see I was a bit of off-roading. When you're off-roading at low speeds, like 40 kilometers per hour and lower, the car will tend to bounce a lot. So it doesn't handle off-road speed imperfections at low speed well enough for my liking. But when you're once you increase and you go to like 80, 100 off-road, it's quiet, it's smooth, it's perfect. So that's with regards to the drive of the vehicle. Now time to speak about what I like and what I don't like about those cars. And the first thing I don't like about we speak about the things I like and the things I don't like. The things I don't like about those cars, the first thing, it has to be the safety systems. The number one, it has to be the lane keep. So the lane keep is very aggressive. It's always wanting to keep you in lane. I get why people have why manufacturers are doing the whole safety systems, but I don't like it in this vehicle because right now it's on. If I switch it off right now, it's off. I park the car for 2 minutes, I come back, it's gonna switch on again. And all the time you need to keep switching it off. So you won't really feel it when you're doing residential driving like what I'm doing now. But once you get on the highway, you'll be like, okay, now I really want to switch it off. That's the first thing I don't like about the car. The second thing I don't like about the car, it has to be the drive of the vehicle and the lack of power in this specific model. It's something that I wish GWM can improve on the next model in terms of give us more power in the vehicle, because more power means good stuff. So they'll do much better than that. And the third thing I don't like is with regards to, it has to be the indicator sound. So this, it's a bit too loud and a bit irritating at times. So yeah, now on to the third things I like about the car. So the first thing I like about the car, it has to be the step at the back. That's a very lovely step at the car. I like the step at the back, the interior feel of the vehicle, and the third thing, it has to be the price. So step, interior feel of the vehicle, and the price of the car. Under 700,000 rand, and you're getting so much. It makes sense why there's so many on the roads. So if you can't afford the expensive Bakkies, your Toyota Hilux, your Amarok that's literally in front of me now, and your Ford Ranger, you should see the Amarok pass. If you don't see it, 1, 2, 3, there. So if you can't afford those Bakkies, because those Bakkies are going for 900,000 rand for good, for what you get in this vehicle. If you want it in that vehicle, 900,000 rand. Obviously take out the power and all of that, so it's a lot of money, and GWM is giving you that 200,000 rand, you know. So speaking of price, in terms of cost of ownership, this vehicle is priced at 695,000 rand. Finance that over 5 years at an interest rate of 12.25%. You'll be paying that amount on screen. Factor fuel into that, you'll be paying that amount on screen. So that's just regards to the cost of ownership of the vehicle is good enough. Warranty, everything is listed in the description box below, and because this car has so many safety systems, I'll put that in the description box below so you can read yourself and see that there is so many that I myself can't even speak about it in the full review of the vehicle. But I did like my time with the car. I can't be too critical about it. I do like it. There wasn't too many things that upset me to a point where I wouldn't buy it. So most important question, do I like the car? Would I buy the car? Would I recommend the car? 1, do I like the car? 100%. 2, would I buy the car? If I was on a budget and you wanted all the amenities that the Rangers or the other Bakkies come with, definitely. 3, would I recommend the car? 100%. So if you're looking at something not too fancy but at the same time fancy, you're on a budget and you just want a workhorse, for example, or you want something to get you from point A to point B in a bulky form, this is it. You're not big on power, this is it. If you are big on power, then I wouldn't tell you to go for this. Look elsewhere, but this Bakkie will get all your needs granted. So everything you need to do, this car will do that for you. So, but I've said a mouthful on this review. I hope you guys did like the content. I am signing out. So I'm Nicky Nash from South Africa. I'll see you in the next review in the next coming days.